Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It is so good to be with you here today, and I'm looking forward to see what we get to see around the waterholes in today's show. My name is Amy, and I don't know if I actually said my name already or not. I apologize if this is the second time I'm saying it. But anyway, always good to know who's hosting the show for you today. Anyway, we are starting off here in the beautiful East Africa, Oldonyo Lodge, with an elephant and a giraffe that have come to say hello. Remember everyone that this is a live and interactive show, so I'd love to chat to you all. Tell me who you are, where you're watching from, what you're hoping to see today, and just enjoy a relaxing time with us. You can send through those comments and questions to us via the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. Wow, well, it's turning into a bit of an elephant party here. How gorgeous to have these boys arriving. Penelope, hello. Lovely to hear from you. Glad to know that you are joining in for today's Waterhole show. You say that there is a lot of heavy rain along the KwaZulu-Natal coast, which is sort of southeast from where we are here at Djuma at the moment. And I do believe it's raining all over the show. It's raining here now as well. There were heavy rains as well around Mabula, which is just north of Johannesburg. Also in Johannesburg, Mika's directing the show for us today. She says they're sitting there quite cold in Johannesburg. We are, on the other hand, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, even though it's rainy. It's still very warm here in the Lowveld. Mercedes, hello to you. Joanne, hello to you. And Catherine, you saying hi from a very frosty Germany. It sounds like there's a cooler weather all around today. Not quite frosty, I would say. Just chilly in parts of South Africa. I do believe January and February is some of the coldest weather, particularly in the northern hemisphere. Now, a few days ago, or was it yesterday, when we had so many giraffe? I think it was yesterday. It just feels like so much has happened between yesterday and today, with coming down to Djuma and starting drives and all the rest of it. It feels like a longer period than just 24 hours that have passed. But I think it was yesterday we had all those giraffes here in the same spot. Just seeing the one here reminds me of all of them that were hanging around. It seemed to be a giraffe convention at this waterhole. Deb Davis, lovely to hear from you. You are saying hello from a very cold Hershey in Pennsylvania of the eastern US. Lovely to hear from you, Deb. So glad that you are joining us for the show. And how relaxing is this, everyone? Goodness me, these two Eddies having a lazy drink here at the waterhole. Giraffes in the distance. There's quite a few birds around, it looks like, as well. Probably most of them being doves, but there might be one or two other ones in between as well. great to see these eddies splashing themselves now. Can just listen to the sounds of the water. You can see the one on the left's turning a very shiny color with the water landing on his back. Sigrun, yes, there is my giraffe. I'm still waiting to see one on Juba. Fingers crossed though for the next week and a bit that I'm here, that week and a half, that I'll be able to see giraffe here before we head off Juma. But I did see zebras this morning, which was fantastic, so I'm very happy with that sighting ticked off the list. And hopefully they stick around and we get to see them a little bit more. But I would love to see a journey of giraffe. And we at one stage had last year around October or so, there was like a group of 10 or 11 giraffe that were hanging out together on Juma, which was fantastic. We had some awesome sightings with them. Ivan, you'd like to know if giraffes are poached for any reason? Off the top of my head, they aren't an animal that I necessarily associate with poaching. You think of rhinos, even elephants for their ivory, pangolins for their scales. I suppose in a way it's possible that they are poached for bushmeat. Maybe there's also some cultural beliefs with certain parts of a giraffe. Maybe their hides can also be used, whether it's for clothing or some sort of a covering of some sort. But in terms of a market valued part of them that it's poached for, I'm not aware of anything when it comes to giraffe. Well, it's been a great start to the show up here at Old Daniel. Let's head over to the Olifant River now. Oh wow, we've got two that have come out the water, a bigger one and a smaller one, and they are doing some grazing. Hippos we usually associate with seeing them in the water in the day, but especially on days like today with sort of overcast weather, a little bit drizzly, and even sometimes when it's boiling hot, let me be honest with you, they come out the water. But more likely to be seen when the weather is like what it is at the moment in the Lowveld. And there we have them eating grass, which they do. Well, that was quite quick to move there. And you don't really, I mean, you definitely don't associate hippos with being a fast animal, especially on foot, but they can actually move very quickly if they need to. And they can reach up to 30 kilometers per hour when they're running, which is a very, very quick. And you can see actually how light they are on their feet, which is surprising given their body shape. But they can definitely move if they need to. I'm not sure why they keep running like that. Unless there's something to the left of them that we can't see. I didn't particularly hear or see anything. But who knows, you might have something that move and give them a bit of a fright. Well, those hippos got into the river and seemingly disappeared quite quickly. The river's just flowing so strongly again. It did calm down for a period. I think it was last week when we came here, and the rain it hadn't, all the different areas that flow into the Olifants River. It's not just where it's raining right now here where we're looking at. It's the rain from all the small little drainage lines that eventually flow and culminate to feed into the Olifants River. And with so much rain all over the northern and eastern parts of the country at the moment, we've got a much stronger flow of water. There's an Egyptian goose there waddling about. Well, I'm glad we got to spend some time here at Olifants. It's lovely to see the river. Now let's head over to Elephant Pan. Oh, lovely. Elephant having a swim in Elephant Pan. It's always a treat to see a pool party happening. Oh, I do love it when they go for a swim. Almost looked like he was trying to do a handstand there at one moment. Or headstand, should I say. Looks like there's quite a lot going on here. Elephants, there's a giraffe drinking. Oh, and a pair of ring-necked doves doing some preening in this mapani tree. What a beautiful sight. Sandy, hello, lovely to hear from you. I'm so glad you're here with us today, and I do hope that you enjoy your time at the waterhole. This has become one of my favorite water holes with the view now that these mapani trees have leaves on. Oh, this elephant's finding a really good spot there to have a scratch. Oh wow, that's a lot of goslings all of a sudden appeared there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I may have miscounted though, there was a lot of movement somewhere in the middle. And Egyptian geese can have quite big clutches, so it's not a surprise that there are that many, especially at this size. As they get sort of older, or as more time goes on, there's, probably less of them will actually survive to fledge. But Egyptian geese are very good parents, so we do see quite a high survival rate of over 80%, I think. Well, this has just been the cutest thing. I've counted 11 now. Updated number. Might even be 12. They just keep moving, so it's difficult to establish an exact figure, but somewhere around there. It's definitely more than 10. Oh my word, there's even more to the right. Goodness gracious. I think it's been recorded of up to 18 in a single clutch. Good luck, Mommy Goose. Or Daddy, I suppose. But this does, I think this is the female. I've seemed to notice that when it comes to Egyptian geese, the female has less white on sort of the side of the wing or just above the wing than the males do. And yesterday we were watching those little grebes at Ganupan, and that was also very sweet. But seeing how the adults are bringing the food to the little ones always, bill to bill feeding, whereas here you've got these Egyptian goslings that are very much independent in terms of their feeding, and I think that has a lot to do with the diet. These geese primarily feeding on grass, whereas the grebes need to be fed little tadpoles or other types of aquatic invertebrates. Some more giraffes coming out now. This is lovely. What a beautiful scene at Elephant Pan. interesting to see that interaction as well, a little bit of snuffing going on there. You don't see too much allo grooming happening between giraffes. They're not particularly known for that. Mostly between mother and calf, I would say. And this is also, you know, fascinating to show you the difference in coloration. Not necessarily every big male giraffe is dark in color. There was one there, but this one is lighter. And still you can see large in size. Female there on the left now, much smaller horns for ossicones on top of her head. Seems to be being followed by this male. Look, he's going to sniff her backside now. I think she's attracted a few males to herself, maybe giving off some pheromones that are indicating she's coming into season, and she's got some male suitors that are following her around. And in this time, ooh, looked like he gave a little bit of a sniff there. Very common behavior in terms of the male just literally following the female. Like he's completely obsessed with her. It feels like that's what it comes across as when these males are pursuing a female. And when mating is actually occurring, he literally looks like he's glued to her backside, like constantly in contact with her. It's incredible to see. Sandy, yes, aren't they just so majestic? I love watching giraffes move around the bush. They are just very graceful for the most part. Sometimes when they run, they can look a little bit clumsy, but also very sort of the slow motion, their movements that they do. Well, these giraffes do seem to be heading off into the thickets. It was great to spend some time with them at the waterhole though. For now, let's head over to Safari Hook. Oh, lovely. How beautiful. Some springbokkies here at Safari Hook in Namibia. Definitely not rainy and overcast. Lots of sunshine here today. so lovely. We have some zebras that are arriving here for a drink. It's always beautiful to have these black and white creatures come down to the waterhole. I spent some time with zebras this morning out on drive, which I really enjoyed. It's been a long time since I've done so. Lady Macbeth, you say lovely little antelope. Those springbuck are quite lovely, aren't they? They always look so clean as well. Really, really shiny coats. Jan, you've asked an interesting question, and it is something that comes up quite a lot at different stages, even with guests that I've had in the past, referring to impala as springbuck or even springbuck as impala. And it's one of those things that they are both medium-sized antelope, and they do have a sort of a similar general appearance. But some of the differences, I think one of the sort of key differences is that with springbuck, both the males and the females have horns, whereas impalas only the male has horns and not the female. So that's one of the key differences between the species. They also sort of their distribution, there is some overlap. But for example, in the low veld or eastern part of South Africa, you're not going to find springbuck. So, if you come on safari to the low veld or to the Kruger National Park or any of the areas, the Sabi Sands or the Greater Kruger, even into KwaZulu-Natal, where we have a location like Tembi, you're not going to find any springbuck on the side. So that's also a nice way to know that when you see something that is that sort of size and shape, that it's immediately going to be an impala. And then when you look a little bit closer, they are different in color. Impalas don't really, if you just look at them from the side or the front, there's no real white on them at all. The white is mainly under the tail when they are showing that sort of, when they flick their tail up sometimes. But on a springbuck, they have quite a lot of white on them, coloration wise. They also have this very, very dark band stripe that runs across their side, whereas impalas are much more faded from light to dark or dark to light, depending which way you look at it. There we go, we're showing you one now. They also have that sort of long dark stripe on the front of the face, which is white completely in comparison to impalas, which are brown. So similar, but not the same by any means. And now you can see that sort of white coloration that I'm talking about. As well as the fact that they all have horns here, these springbuck, males and female. It's interesting to watch these zebra as well. If this is, I'm trying to work out if it's a stallion and a mare, or a mare and it's a much older foal. Looks like that's a female on the left, and maybe it's a foal that's now a lot older. I'm not actually sure what that one is licking on the ground, if there's water there or if it's a bit of soil that it's eating, which is also possible. Animals will sometimes eat soil to help supplement their diet. Yeah, I'd also come and have a drink of water if I've been licking sand. let's head back up to East Africa to Oldonyo. Well, it's nice to see that there's still an elephant around. There was a giraffe as well before it decided to exit stage left. There's been such a steady flow of elephant bulls here lately. I mean, there are times where we don't see so many of them. More zebra, eland, gemsbok, oryx, fringe-eared oryx. More so than the elephants and giraffe. But just interesting how the season changes. Sort of the movements of the animals as well. Definitely in giraffe and elephant time here at the moment. So this giraffe is approaching now. It'll be interesting if it heads straight to the water, or if it sort of stands by there just to see what this elephant's vibe is. It does look like it's having a bathroom break at the moment. Sort of stretched its back legs out a little bit wider, and that often means they're having a poop. Elephant. Oh yeah, he's gonna have a little splash now. And just notice how tattered the ears of this particular elephant bull are as well. Many signs that many years have passed by as those ears have gotten more and more torn. And it's interesting how when they do throw water on themselves, often the very first place that they do toss to is behind the ears like that. And the skin is a lot thinner there, a lot of blood vessels closer to the surface of the skin. And there, that evaporative cooling really has the most effect, and I think they feel the quickest effect of cooling down when they wet themselves behind the ears. Here's another friend to join. Kate, so essentially, yes, they would tolerate each other. But what we must remember about elephant bulls is that they are essentially all from different herds. Some may be from the same natal herd, but often these bulls that meet up or are sort of forming bachelor groups and things like that potentially all come from different natal herds. So there might be a bachelor herd that sort of have a hierarchy that's already been established, and they sort of know each other, and they might not be friendly towards outsiders perhaps, but for the most part they don't really mind others joining. From what I've seen, you've got younger bulls that will sometimes just start to hang out with older ones, and they don't really mind too much from the things that I've read and also observed with bachelor herds. But there could be some let's say unfriendliness towards a new elephant bull trying to join an established bachelor herd. Perhaps the only issue would come if that particular bull started to want to challenge the other bulls for dominance or something like that. They wouldn't take too kindly to that. Penelope, yes, I will be on drive this afternoon for the sunset drive at 4 p.m. So it's going to be lovely to be back out. It is raining at the moment, but hopefully it lightens up enough that we can still head out. I'm sure we will. Always try and make a plan no matter what the weather, unless it's lightning and things like that. But at the moment it's not really storming at all. It's just more of a constant drizzle, which I'm very happy about. I must say it was needed. It was so humid and everything was so warm, so I think the little bit of rain is just going to cool everything down. Here we've got some other giraffes, a female and male again, just like an elephant pad. And you can see very much the same behavior with that sniffing and now just following her wherever she goes. Dylan, what an amazing question. Thank you for asking that. You want to know if I think elephants are aware of the fact that they only have a certain amount of molars in their lifetime. Ooh, fascinating thought. They only have 6 sets of teeth, and a large part of what determines their lifespan are those 6 sets. Usually getting their last set around 35 to 40 years old or so. I think the last set of teeth come through. Maybe it's a little bit earlier, maybe between 30 to 35 years. And it's, one of those things where I don't know if they are aware of the amount of sets of teeth that they have. I don't think, it would be fascinating research to do to try and figure out if they actually make concerted effort to elongate their lifespan by being more aware of the wearing down of their teeth. I mean, we know that they do like to eat a lot of grass when it's available, and one reason that's just, it's easier to eat, it's less wear and tear on the mouth and the teeth, which, are they choosing it because it has less wear and tear, or is it because it's just nice and soft and it's more delicious to eat, and the byproduct of that is that there's less wear and tear because they're eating nice soft grass. So it's an interesting one. I don't know how they would know how many sets of teeth they have. The reason that, not that the reason we know we have different sets of teeth is because we have experienced the losing of one set to get another. Also because we have access to things like x-rays to be able to see that. But for these elephants, I mean, I think they can definitely feel the change in their mouth when a new set of teeth is on the way. But do they know that, set number 6 is the last set they're going to get? I'm not sure. I don't know if they're fully aware, that they have 6. They might be aware when it's their final set. There might be a certain feeling that's different from the other sets. Realizing maybe, after 10 years with this one set of teeth that, okay, I'm clearly not getting another set. But are they that self-aware? It's an interesting thought. Does it matter to them at all how many sets of teeth they have? They just know that they have enough to last them a very long amount of time. That gives them the lifespan of 50, 60, even more than that years. Looks like the giraffes have plucked up the courage to come closer to the water. Saw a little bit of movement there on the right. Yeah, those oxpeckers calling, so I think they might be on the giraffes and hopping down for a drink as well now that they're at the water. Alright, let's head over to Victoria Falls. Oh lovely, this herd of kudu is around. I think they've been hanging out in the area. I remember there was a few young males part of this particular group. There's also some helmeted guinea fowl here. Yes, Sandy, absolutely. It's very normal to see male and female antelopes hanging out together, especially young males like this. I mean, this kudu maybe a year or so, between 1 to 2 years old maybe. So he's still a youngster, definitely not having moved off. Oh my goodness, moved off just yet. I'm not sure what that was about. And so yes, very much common to have males and females grouped together. When it comes to more mature kudus though, when they've got all their spirals and they really are mature bulls, they tend to keep it to themselves until there's sort of a female in estrus or something like that. Then they'll associate with the herds to mate with her. They are pretty, aren't they? We don't always think, I suppose, of kudu as the prettiest antelope that we see, but when you look close up, they really are, so beautiful with their stripes and the little dots on their face. You can see some oxpeckers moving around as well. Tails are also constantly moving, chasing off the insects, mostly flies. I can hear a lot of European bee eaters flying around here as well. Let's head back over to Elephant Pan. We're back with this Egyptian goose and its goslings. Look how many there are. Oh my goodness. So adorable. They are very, very busy. I don't know if they ever sit still. Now, I mostly associate Mapanis with Elephant Pan, but that does look like it's a fallen over marula on the left there. And these goslings are, like I say, busy searching around, eating plenty of grass. I'd love to see them go out for a little swim, all of them together with the parents. One last one on its own. Keep up, little one. You don't want to get left behind out here. I think they are going to pop out on the other side. Is that a bird on the ground, or is that just a log with a white? No, I think it's just a piece of wood. It looked like perhaps a vulture that had had its head tucked away there on the right, but I think it's just a log. Alright, let's head over to Lentora. Everyone's favorites, the baboons, are here once again. We've had such a special time with the baboons over the last week, if not longer than that. and some impalas as well. I don't think I've seen impala drinking here yet. We see them walking past quite often. This is awesome. So pretty, shining in the sun like that. I think that might have been that little one that shouted like that. And I think sometimes when they do shout like that, I mean, you saw the mom didn't do anything, you know, to upset that little one as such. But I think it just was moving it away from the teat, which sort of wanted to reposition it. And then the baby got upset because it obviously wants to be close to mom's milk. Sally, interesting question. You want to know if baboons would take care of a baby that's mom's died? I believe it is. It has been recorded that other younger baboons who don't necessarily have young of their own yet to take care of an orphaned baboon baby. But I don't think it could be while that baboon is still relying on suckling. They'd have to be weaned. You know, in the first year of its life, a baboon's mother is essential for survival for that little one. I mean, it's highly unlikely that it can get further without having mom to protect it and really, you know, keep it away from harm, especially even within the troop. But as they get older and let's say something happens to mom, others will take it in. But I think it will have to be, it can't really be brand newborn. They could maybe try, but I don't know how long it would be able to survive without a dedicated baboon to look after it. Picasso, lovely to hear from you. At the moment, I can't see a navel on the baboons in this moment, but they would have one. Being a mammal and having, you know, an umbilical cord attached there at some stage, it would have what we affectionately refer to in humans as a belly button. Oh my word, that was some fresh baboon poop. It looked like that the one grabbed there. Not sure what it's going to do with that. Wildlife lady, probably not. And I say that because terrapins are very foul smelling. Also, they have a very hard shell that would be quite tricky for baboons to open up, and I don't know if it would be worth the energy that would be needed. Oh my word, look at this one checking us out, getting a groom. It really is. They just have the best facial expressions. And I mean, just look at that finger movement there. It's really like fine motor skills to, you know, scratch like that, be so specific as they sort of move through their hair. Let's head back over to old Daniel. How lovely. Two Ellies are back, as well as two giraffes. We've been treated today in Kenya. Wow, wow, wow. Jackie, it's a good question, and that's something that's impossible to really pin down as to when an elephant lets another elephant close or not. I mean, there's times we've seen elephants here with giraffe, zebra, and eland all drinking at the same time, and they don't seem too bothered by them. But I think it does get to a point where it's sort of, if there's a personal space barrier that gets a little bit too close, then they sort of just like shake their heads or do a little bit of a step forward and get the others to move off. But I think it's up to the individual elephant, how tolerant they are. And so there's no one size fits all, as it were. It really does depend on the individual and their tolerance level, and whether they're comfortable with something else being at the water at the same time, if they want to throw their weight around. And also I think that is somewhat communicated to the other animals that approach the waterhole. However that happens, whether it's body language or however, they can read whether they are sort of welcome or not, I think, to a degree. Sometimes they approach and they've misread the signals maybe, and they get chased off. Deb, yes, you do have to always check if we can see Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. I don't think I can see it at the moment. It is always tricky sometimes because it is snow-capped on top, so sometimes you can mistake it for clouds, but it does look like actual clouds are in the sky at the moment. That was a beautiful sighting of these giraffes drinking. Wildlife Lady, the drinking duet. What a title. You can see the oxpeckers all following there now as the giraffe moves away. Yes, Sarah, I agree. It was lovely to have the giraffes have this waterhole to themselves. The elephants have been hogging it a little bit for a while. Wildlife Lady, I'm so glad you've enjoyed today's waterhole. I will indeed see you later out on drive here at Djuma. We have some doves that have landed around the waterhole now. A few butterflies flying around. It's just difficult to see the exact detail of them to identify, but lots of different colors, little yellow ones, white ones, some black and yellow, could be yellow swallowtails. But it has been a fantastic show today. Lots of different sightings along the way. Elephants having a pool party, giraffes coming to drink, baboons as well, kudu, springbuck, zebra. It was really filled with a lot of variety, which is always wonderful. Let's head over to Djuma to end the show. Well, lovely place to end here with this herd of impala. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. Thank you for all of your comments and your questions. We've had some wonderful chats, actually, interesting questions that came through, and lovely to hear from all of you. I do hope that you had a relaxing time. And as mentioned, we'll be out on drive again this afternoon at 4 p.m. Central African time, so make sure that you join us for your sunset safari. Otherwise, Live at the Waterhole will be back tomorrow. From me and the team here, thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.